everyone, this is Teacher Joker from Waju Culture School. I am the homeroom teacher of grade 5/1. So before we start, I would like to say good afternoon everybody. Our subject today is science and our topic for today is about environment. Okay, so are you ready class? I hope everybody's ready, so we're gonna start. So we have here our vocabulary or the words to know. First is we have environment. Environment. So do you know what is environment? When we say environment, it means anything that surrounds us. So if you look around, anything that you could see around, that is called environment. Later on, I will be showing you some examples of the things that surrounds us, okay? So environment. And when we say environment, it is where we live. Okay, it is where all living things live. So environment is the place where living things live. And one more thing, when we say environment, all that surrounds you is an environment. So whether that could be a sea or an ocean, mountain, a forest, or a river, those are environment. And if you are going to look around you, you can see many things. Like for example, sea. So sea surrounds us. And in the sea, there are many living things that lives in there. There are fish, there are turtles, there are sharks, there are seahorses, there are shrimps and other kinds of sea animals. Another that we can see in our environment is a mountain. Okay, so do you think mountain is important to all living things? Yes, mountain is very important for living things because this serves also as their home. For example, animals that live on the mountain, they get food in the mountain, they live there, and that serves as their source of living. Okay, so for without mountain, they cannot live. Another is river. So river is one source of life, not only for animals but also for humans, to us, because we get food from the river. We get fish, we get any kinds of animals that could live on the river. So animals, they get food also on the river, and some animals, they live there right away. Therefore, river is very important to living things. Okay, so river is not a living thing, but it's very important to us living things. Do you know actually the importance of non-living things to living things? So without non-living things, living things cannot survive also. Like for example, a fire. People cannot live without a fire. They cannot cook their food and etc. And water. Water is very important for us living things, for us humans, to animals also. For without water, we cannot survive or we cannot live. So another is soil. Do you believe that soil is very important to living things? Yes. For example, for the plants. Plants cannot grow without the soil. And we cannot also live without planting something to eat like fruits, vegetables, trees, fruit trees, and other plants that we can eat. Okay, so those are just example of non-living things that helps us to survive or we need to survive. So another one is our environment is our life. So do you believe in that? Do you believe that the environment is our life? Yes, because without water, for example, can we live without water? We cannot live without water because water is a source of life. Okay? Aside from that, the soil, for example, without the soil, we cannot plant food. We cannot plant trees, vegetables, fruits for us to eat. Therefore, for without our environment, we cannot live. So yes, it's true that our environment is our life. Okay, so let's continue answering your workbook on page 12, number 12 and 13. So what is environment? What is environment? As what I've said a while ago, when we say environment, anything that surrounds us. Okay, so that is the meaning of environment. Next is list the non-living components that living things depend on for survival. Okay, so a while ago I show you some pictures of the things that we can see in our environment that helps us living things to survive. So like for example, a river, that is a non-living thing, but it supports or it helps us living things to survive. Water, for example, water cannot live or it's a non-living thing, but it helps us living thing to survive. Another is soil. Soil doesn't have a life. It's a non-living thing, but it helps living things to survive. Like for example, plants. For without soil, plants cannot grow. And for without plants, other living things cannot survive. So that's the importance of soil to living things. Now, just list down the non-living things that would help the living things to survive. Okay? So I gave you an example already. So it's up to you whether you're going to write that one or you have another example. Okay? So the same that's on page 12.